Hello. I think we're live. I think we're. I think we're up and. I think we're up and running. I haven't made a video in a while. I want to apologize for that. I do want to say thank you to the few new subscribers to the channel. I honestly just kind of started putting these videos out there, just kind of wondering if people were even interested in the same kind of stuff that I am. I'm never expecting people to be interested in the same stuff I am. I mean, I pride myself on being a very niche person, uh, but I appreciate the fact that there are people out there that also appreciate these old baseball players. I mean, I really do. I apologize. I'm looking down here trying to find my video. I'm just wanting to check my audio. I'm assuming this will probably take me a moment here. I don't know why I can't find my YouTube channel on my phone. I've got multiple YouTube channels just from over the years. And oh wow. And I just can't seem to get my stuff together. Whatever. I'd like to know. Oh no. Duh. I see it down there in the bottom left. We're fine. My microphone is picking it up, so we're fine. I just really wanted to put a video together to kind of touch base and just say hello and kind of go over another one of the Hall of Famers we got to talk about. So far, we've talked about Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle, and today we're going to look at Mr. Koufax. We're going to look at Sandy Koufax. And Koufax is luckily still with us on this plane of existence of Earth. And I firmly believe that he is probably arguably one of the greatest pitchers of all time. I don't think he's the greatest pitcher of all time. Now, if you talk to a lot of players from that era, I never spoke with any of these people, obviously, but from what I've learned, what I've read, what I've heard from these people, through interviews, media of any kind, they all said that Sandy Koufax was unhittable. I think Pete Rose has a really good story about how it didn't matter. You could bat 500 all season long, but you're only going to bat 100, against Koufax. And that really stands against his, it's really a testament to his, to his talent as a pitcher. So a lot of people in the collecting world, in the collecting hobby, just really appreciate having a really high grade, authentic Koufax in their collection. That's just how it happens to be, and I can't blame anybody. I always have a poor toxic trait of not necessarily caring about somebody's autograph until they're dead. So unfortunately, all I've got is a single Koufax. I've got him on a baseball with Jackie Robinson and Campanella. It was at the very end of Jackie's career. I believe it's 55 Dodgers Bowl. I don't necessarily count that though. Koufax is one of those people that signed a lot of things on a multi-signed plane. Like if you find a Koufax that's got more than 3 or 4 signatures on it, you shouldn't even really have to call into question of, is this legitimate? A lot of the times, as long as you don't find like a Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, Willie Mays, Koufax signed thing, then you're fine. But if you find like a Musial, Yogi Berra, Koufax, I typically see those with a little bit of Johnny Bench. You normally see stuff like that where it's a lot of Hall of Fame reunion stuff or maybe charity stuff. He never really went to the Bally's casinos like Willie Mays used to go to all the time. So you'll typically see him on a lot of team signed baseballs, a lot of old timers baseballs, reunion, Hall of Fame reunion stuff. He's been doing that now for 40 years. So the amount of Koufax signatures that are legitimate out there are incredible. And I do feel, and I do firmly believe, and I might be completely wrong on this, but I do believe that his autograph is overpriced. And I think that might be a little bit of a hot take. And I think a lot of people might not agree with me on that. But I will say it again. I think Sandy Koufax has a very, very overpriced signature. I think it's quite stupid. If I'm being blunt and just super honest about it, I don't think that his autograph's price reflects the scarcity or the difficulty to get his autograph. There's so many autographs of his out there. It's Mantle is a good example too. I kind of use the Babe Ruth formula, and basically what I mean by that is, if you were to go on a major auction house right now and you were to bid on a Babe Ruth signed baseball or any Babe Ruth item, you're not actually going up 90% of the time. You're not actually going up against another individual. You're going up against an individual that is a dealer or somebody who's going to resell that piece. Somebody who, is planning on making money off of that baseball. There's never really anybody who is going out there and buying a Babe Ruth baseball and putting it in their personal collection, because a lot of people who want that ball already have it, or just a lot of people say that's just too much money and I'm not going to commit to that. And if they do commit to it, then that's how you get those absurd prices, is because you're having to outbid dealers. And dealers are going to go until the last penny can be squeezed out. And I think a lot of that goes with Koufax, and a lot of that goes with Mickey Mantle. A lot of the autographs that are out there on the third-party market right now are owned by dealers. And I think a lot of the times, like with Mickey Mantle autographs, I see the most ridiculous prices for some of these signed baseballs. Now, I understand like inscription baseballs where it's like Triple Crown 1956 or Hall of Fame 74, or number 7. I've seen some even crazy ones that were like naming off how many Gold Gloves he had in the year 54 MVP. I can't remember what year he got his MVP, but I'm obviously a fake Mickey Mantle fan. But I just have seen some autographs out there. It's like the Willie Mays. If you ever saw a Willie Mays ball with "Say Hey," an authentic Willie Mays ball that actually said authentically "Say Hey" on the side of it, I understand where those prices come from. But when it's just a Willie Mays baseball, it blows me socks, And I think Koufax is in that same boat. And I think there's a lot of fatigue. And in hindsight's 2020, isn't it? That when Willie Mays passed away, a lot of people who had Willie Mays autographs flooded the market immediately after he died. And on eBay, that made those prices, after a very short amount of time, swell. For a very short amount of time, swell and become bloated. And once like the greater market, I want to say like maybe the dealer market or whoever was picking these baseballs up, was buying them up, or it was people who were like, oh, I remember Willie Mays, or my dad loved Willie Mays. Oh, he's dead. I got to get his autograph, something along those lines. I don't think that's going to happen with Koufax, because Koufax is not necessarily as respected. And that also might be a hot take, but I don't think the common man enjoys Sandy Koufax as much as they enjoy a Willie Mays or a Mickey Mantle or a Joe DiMaggio. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really firmly believe that in 20 years, when Koufax is long dead and his autograph has been able to be worked out and rolled out to be just another run of the mill like a Dave Winfield, then I won't be shocked when those prices come down to those like where they're at now in 20 years. I'm not saying that Koufax is overpriced in 20 years. I just think for right now, the price on a Koufax autograph is ridiculous. So my opinion is, on a lot of people collecting Koufax, they firmly believe that they need to go out and spend, a lot of money on a Koufax, and you don't. I got this slab. Now, granted, this isn't like a graded slab. This is one of those, again, Koufax has sat down hundreds of times and taken 500 index cards and just not even thought about it. This was $150. And the guy who I bought this thing from wanted $350 from it. And I said, there is no way on earth, because it's just an index card. Look, if it was Bobby Wallace, or, it was Rabbit Moranville, a guy that died, 70 years ago, 60 years ago, obscure, you had to get him through the mail because you were never going to meet Bobby Wallace at the fucking reunion teams. You wouldn't do that. The only way you get those autographs is through the mail. So if you missed out on sending them through the mail, you're screwed. Koufax does signings, paid signings. He's gone to the National. He's gone to reunion team. There's all of these things, all of these outlets for you to get an authentic Koufax. that his autograph should not even be competing with those rare autographs. That's my 2 cents. So when it comes to Koufax, you don't have to overspend. In fact, there's actually a few examples that I really believe that if you aren't looking for a necessarily single-signed piece, I think one of the better pieces out there is a Nolan Ryan, Bob Feller, Sandy Koufax scoreboard signed baseball. I've seen a handful of them just forged, but they're so rare to see forged because people don't get Bob Feller right. Because again, who forges Bob Feller? There's probably one dude in the world that forges Bob Feller autographs, and he's not bright. So I just think, Koufax is a one-off. Koufax is a one-off. If you want one really good piece, pay good money for a Koufax. But then if you want another Koufax, or if you want to just have multiple Koufaxes, maybe you're a Dodgers fan, or your dad was a huge Koufax fan, or maybe your dad took you to a Dodgers game, and Koufax was there throwing out the first pitch. So there's a sentimental thing with you and Koufax, and sure, go crazy, go absolutely crazy. But to me, he stopped pitching 40 years before I was born. I don't care, and I don't think a lot of people in the future will really care either. So when you're making that investment, which I don't believe a lot of this shit is investments, I'm just going to tell you straight up, like, a lot of this better make you happy, because on the way out, you're not going to make your money back. If you do, it's going to be on those big pieces, and your margins are going to be so slim on the smaller things like your Leon Days, Yogi Berras, that you're going to be sitting there shaking your head going, man, I should have just bought gold and silver. You'd had a better return on that, and you still would have been skipping by, or just squeezing by. So I just think that when it comes to Koufax, don't spend the big money unless you want a really good, nice piece that you're going to keep your whole life, and then you're going to pass down or whatever it is, because then you're going to have something that's going to be worth some money. But it's the same deal. Look for unique inscriptions. Look for, the perfect game inscriptions. Those are huge. But I have seen some of those fucking balls get to like $2,000, and it just makes me go, who's spending this money on a Sandy Koufax autograph? It blows me away. You're better off sticking something in the mail form and putting $1,000 check in the thing and just going, please put this inscription on it, and saving yourself some money. I know he doesn't necessarily do that anymore, but he's gotten his age. He's older, so it's just, it is what it is. I firmly believe he's overrated. I think he's just like Jeter. But let's talk about his autograph. It's not about the man anymore. He's a great guy. I'll give him that. He's a great guy, good personality. A lot of deep history with that man. Knew everybody. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I am looking at. Hopefully I remember how to do this correctly, because it has been a little while. There we go. Woo! We got our little thing going on there, and hopefully this is correct. So this will be showing my let me just double check, make sure. Yes, that is correct. So this is showing my Twitter, in case you haven't followed me on Twitter yet. It's at Kyle Deal on Twitter. Got X, Twitter. Yeah, get to it. You're not going to miss it. You're not going to regret doing it either. I always have a good couple of tweets, probably once a couple times a week, but you like to do it. You like to see me on there. So let's go ahead and let's just skip straight ahead to Koufax's autograph facts. If this is your first video for some reason, just know that if you haven't, if this is your first video with me and you haven't seen this website, psacard.com, it's PSA DNA's website, but it's just a huge database of authentic autographs they have uploaded very high resolution photos for. And you can compare and contrast and see a lot of the same similarities also throughout eras and years. The summary is Koufax has always been known for living a very private life, and that nature carried over into the hobby for a long time, leaving collectors without nearly enough autographs to meet the demand. That changed to some degree in recent years as the legendary lefty has signed a little bit more frequently in private settings in response to increasing demand. Koufax's signature has stayed fairly consistent over the years, with slight variations in the S in Sandy, which is true. I'll show you. I'm sure there's one in here about the 50s or 60s where it was more tight than it is now. His autograph has also remained attractive and legible. While you tend to see many clubhouse versions of his autograph, collectors might encounter a secretarial signature from time to time. You don't. Sorry, I read like a 3-year-old. Especially when it comes to autographs that were obtained through the mail in the 80s. Yes. So they have it guided. Now, this is an old website, but they have it guided 250. for and a single sign baseball. Still, that's about the same price you still see today, which is just insane to me. I really think a lot of these are just kind of crazy, but I still just don't get it. He has a gorgeous autograph, probably one of the better in the hobby. I mean, right up there with Mariano Rivera. If you're talking about pitchers, Mariano's got an absolutely gorgeous signature. But pay attention to this S. It's almost like a music note. I don't know the actual note that I'm thinking of, but if you've seen, um, notes from music, I don't know what you want to call it, just sheet music, you'll know that the music note I'm thinking of. It's big, just a good looking S, a good looking music note. Also, pay attention to that fax in his last name. The FAX, the F is typically always separated from the A and the X, and the X always seems to kind of lap over here towards where the X began. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of sloppiness, or sometimes you'll even see a little difference. There's always these variations in his autographs. This is a very rushed signature, and this is also a very open S. That would be another way you can tell if it's a rushed signature, is if it's a lot more open. This is a closed signature. This is a very beautiful signature. Notice how the K cuts across a straight line in the K, and it just steps over itself. It's a beautiful signature. Sometimes you'll see these that kind of look like butcher knives. I think they kind of look like butcher knives, his Fs. Pay attention to this S, though. You see how this S whips up? This S whips up, and this is where a lot of the variation begins, is in this S, where just the S, the ending in the S. You'll notice a lot of the times in the forgeries that they kind of seem to get a little loose, which I think right now is probably a really good time to show you a very common fake Sandy Koufax that is out there in the market every single day. And I actually bought one of them myself. I've destroyed it. This was a couple years ago. I bought I was offered on a second chance buy it now offer from a eBay seller to buy a Koufax, and it was actually going to be my first Koufax. So I think it came back at like $75, and I thought, oh, that's pretty respectable. That's not bad. I mean, that's a fair price for an autograph. And I had a bid on it, but it went up to like $150 or something, and I just didn't think much of it. And I thought, oh wow, that's a really good deal. I got a $75 second chance on it. So I took it, got it home, and I sent it to Beckett. And Beckett, not Beckett themselves, but I sent it to Beckett Pre-Certified, and they said, oh no, that's no good. So I actually reached out to the seller. Guy was nice, understood, shipped me a check in the mail, and I did cash check, and I did settle for the price of the autograph originally. So that was a great deal. But this is what a lot of the fake Sandys look like. Now, I'm apologizing right now, and I don't know how to change my screen. I'm new to computers. I really don't know. But you can see just here by even looking at it, it's just, the things just look a little weird. But that S is always going to be your dead giveaway. Look at how slow and meticulous it is. It falls apart. It's not tight. It's not that big, beautiful musical note we're talking about, where it's fluid. Look at how fluid and straight and nicely composed this S is. But then you go over here and it's just an absolute train wreck. You'll always see that in a lot of these fake signatures. Same deal here. This S will really get tight when it's a forgery. At the very top, it will always get tight, and it'll kind of sway off like how this one does. The flats are easier for them to screw up, but the baseballs, you'll see that a lot. A lot of his name on baseballs looks identical every single time. And this is one of his like later in life signatures here. Whoops. Oh, I lost him. There's his later in life signatures always seem to be I hate to call them sloppier, but they are sloppier, where the S is kind of just turned into an upside down elongated U. Or if you're familiar with Tony Lazzari's T, the way that his T kind of looks, it looks kind of like that. That's how I kind of keep my brain looking, kind of keeping in line with the way things are. This is a baseball I would never buy, because this ink is going to eventually fade. It's just not on there good enough. That's just a scary autograph. I would never want to own that. That's a wonderful ball. This is a ball you'd love to have. That's probably one of the nicer balls out there. It says it's actually got a perfect game inscription down there below it, if you see. That's amazing. This is a great ball to have too. I mean, this is an absolutely gorgeous ball. Ice white, good ball. This is one of the older autographs. This is kind of what my autograph looks like on my Dodgers ball. I don't know what year this is. I'm going to take a guess here. This is probably 59, 56. So it's about that mid 50s to late 50s when his career really began. You'll see a lot of his autographs will look like this. This is a very desirable variation of his signature. If I was investing in another flat like this, or I was going to be buying a signed baseball, if I could get my hands on a signature like that, it's not going to be worth a lot more to, because people want that commercialized signature. This is the one that I would have, because it's going to be more rare, man. It's going to be more rare, and it is more rare now. And I think a lot of people pay that money for something like this, but a lot of people just don't on the higher ends. I don't understand why. I really don't. I really don't know why. It blows my mind. This is a gorgeous signature here. Look at that K and the F with the little bow tie. Good Lord. I mean, that's just an amazing signature. So that's just us kind of scrolling through here, looking at a couple of these things. I mean, you'll see a lot of them look the same. There's some sharpness to some of these. The K is bent inwards. It's kind of funny because they're always the same. They're always the same. It's just like anybody else's autograph. If you pay attention to the similarities, this is absolutely out of this world. If you pay a lot of attention to these photographs, and to these autographs, you'll very quickly realize that Sandy never screwed around with his autograph. You never see any like very rushed, like an autograph that he is really rushed. Nothing is like super sloppy. Everything is still very legible. That is his signature. There's no question of, oh, is that Koufax or, is that Kuzman? It's you already know who signed the thing before you even look at the autograph and strange, in detail like this. So yeah, that's Koufax. Now let's go to eBay and we'll take a look at how many horrible autographs they're allowing on their website. I did want to see this though, and just kind of scroll through and see if I spot anything off the end of it, or right here on eBay or on Google. I'm apologizing. I'm thinking about what we're going to get ready to do. I'm not really seeing anything though, so let's go ahead and just get out of here. This is a good website here too, by the way. I don't know if you've ever been to Blowout Cards, but it's a good forum website. Just kind of lets people talk about things that they have going on in the autograph community and all that fun stuff. Now let's just do something fun here. I actually, before I did kind of proofread this here quickly, I wanted to just do something kind of funny. But look, if you're familiar with the old videos, I've talked about this certification before. Look at this. Fake Willie Mays. Absolutely horrible Willie Mays. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Don Drysdale is one of the worst looking Don Drysdales I've ever seen in my entire life. That I could have done better than that. And Koufax. You see that Koufax? Look at that. How horrible that is. This was done in about 3 seconds. And the fact that somebody is still bidding on this, these really take off around Christmas time, which is unfortunate because it's probably older people that have no idea, but they know their grandkids love Sandy Koufax or, whatever, and they don't know any better. And they waste their money. And they buy from scammers, honestly. This is what you're looking for. Stay away from this garbage. Again, it's that same plate. And just little stock images that are so piss poor. This thing here, these images, the one that I got that was fake looked almost identical to this. This is just a piece of printer paper that, not even like cardstock or photo paper, for like printing out 5x7s. This is literally just printer paper that has been glued with Elmer's glue to this whiteboard. And look at all the mats behind it, actually. Look at how many stacks. They have a full stack of at least 8 fake Koufax Don Drysdales. And again, how much are these things? How much are people wanting to waste their money on? $10 shipping, which that ain't even worth $10. $59 to $85 by now. It's absurd. Here we go. Let's look at this. Already looks bad. With COA. Stay away from when it just says COA. It comes with a certificate of authenticity for added insurance. It doesn't even have anything on it about what it is. I mean, again, look at the S. It goes straight across with the rest of his name. The X looks horrible in fax. Nothing's, disconnected. Very fast. I mean, just a very sloppy signature. And there's a close-up photo of the COA. Original, authentic. 5 people watching this piece of shit. $2. It's incredible. Who's even thinking about buying that? Get your money out of that shit. I don't know why you would even bother. This is this is JSA. This is one of those balls that he would have signed more recently. C-League ball. I think this is one of those more recent balls. This would be an okay ball to have in your collection. I don't think it'd be the one you'd really want, but I think that'd be fair. By the way, great Willie Mays ball. If you're thinking about buying a Willie Mays ball, I hate to bring up Willie Mays during this, but it ends in 8 days. Holy smokes, I've got it on my watch list. It's that good. That's a ball. Anyway, back to Koufax, our regular scheduled programming. This is a really bad Koufax. It's Fanatics. It's an authentic baseball. Like, it's not even in the question. But this is just how his autograph has gotten to be. It's just gotten to be very sloppy. Again, it's like Willie Mays. Willie Mays' autograph got real bad. So people want that. If I were buying a Koufax, I want something that was back in the 90s. Late 80s, 90s. The card, the time that when Mickey Mantle was out and about with Joe DiMaggio and all those guys, those are the autographs you're looking for, the commercialized good stuff like this. This is a beautiful baseball. Charles Feeney, look at that. I mean, it's not ice white by any stretch of the imagination, but that is a gorgeous ball. I didn't even have to see a sticker or anything of the such. I just knew right away as soon as I saw it, that's a good ball. And a lot of the times that's how it is. You don't even have a thing in your mind. You just see it really briefly and you go, that's a good ball. That's a really good ball. And I'll go ahead. I've actually made a little bit of money off mine. Of course, I don't think that'll sell, and I don't really care about making money. This is a fake one. I actually saw this one out in Outer Safe. I mean, this is just bad. Props to them for getting the facts right. I mean, the Koufax has done pretty good, but the Sandy, holy smokes. I mean, it's the scribbles just trying to make it look a little bit better. Still $399 by it now. They're just out of their absolute minds. Here you go. Here's what a team signed baseball looks like here. See, the S is really older looking, and then there's that K that's kind of cocked inwards, towards the way, Giles ball. This is a good ball. This is a ball that, again, if I was going to be wanting to buy a team signed baseball with Koufax on it, this is the way I would go. And again, $400. $400. You got Don Drysdale, a good Don Drysdale, and a good Koufax right there. Perfect. Buy that. Don't go out there and spend the $700 on a single sign. You're going to enjoy that one just as much as you would a single sign. I promise you that. Because a single sign will be sitting there looking at you in the face every day, and you'll be saying, man, I could sell that, I bet. And then you'll end up like this guy who's had the same exact Sandy Koufax ball on eBay for the last, oh my God, how long have I seen this ball on eBay for? Because who wants this ball? Look at the thing's all torn up, and $400. It's been on there for over 2 years. I know that. And a lot of time, that's what you'll see is a lot of this stuff, it is sitting because a lot of people don't want to pay this much for Koufax. Again, if people drop their prices by 40%, which I know is a lot, I'm asking for a lot, people would sell instantly. Look, this is even a dealer, a really good dealer. I mean, I do like this guy, but he's bought things for next to nothing and resold. He's very good at that. I mean, for God's sakes, this ball is 35% off. And look, it's gorgeous, though. Koufax right there in good ink. See that K clocks back, and the K is very high. It's about the same height as the S, the top of his S. This is a great ball. The stamping all looks good. Alston on the sweet spot. That ball's got about 60 years of life in it, I would say, but 60 more years of life in it. A lot of those baseballs, you got to just get them right. This is a great piece. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't go out and buy something like this. If you're looking for a Koufax, go out and get something like this. Don't go crazy and spend $1,000 on something that is just not a good investment. I mean, really, it's not rocket science. Let's see. I have never seen this ball before. Looks like the signatures are real weak on it. But let's just find Koufax here. Now let's see if we can. There he is. I mean, I wouldn't even contemplate this ball, but it is an authentic ball. You see that K, the way the K and the X and the S. I mean, that works, but that's just a real bad ball. I wouldn't even say that's worth that. Here we go. 11 by 14. Let's see. Ooh. My money is on that being a good autograph. $89. Great graphs on eBay. My money's on that one being a good one. Yeah, I put my money on that. From New York. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I can most definitely say that. This is where you'll see a lot more of these balls. Holy smokes, look at this ball. Koufax, absolutely beautiful. Again, it's just like, a lot of these guys where it's Mantle, Mays, DiMaggio. They had that contract with Golden. There's a really nice Koufax. It's amazing. The guys pulled up the same one that we were looking at. There's a lot of those old QVC contracts that you'll find that are really good. Just go out and get one of those. I mean, seriously. Here's one of those balls here. I actually think this is a fake one. Yeah. No. Am I right? I am. Yeah. Yeah, it's bad. I'm just looking at it. I'm just kind of impressed that somebody faked just this one. But again, what did I say earlier? Nolan Ryan. It's faked quite often. It's faked quite often. Sandy Koufax. Faked almost all the time. Where's Bob Feller? Where's Bob Feller? This one wouldn't have made it past Golden's QC. I guarantee that. Let me just, that's what we'll do here really quick. This is the ball that I'm talking about. Is go get yourself one of these. It's got Bob Feller, Nolan Ryan, him on it. And a lot of the times, you'll see them like switch, like where Nolan Ryan would sign the sweet spot. Sometimes it was Bob Feller. Actually, I lie. I don't think I ever saw one that had Bob Feller sign the sweet spot, if I'm actually remembering correctly. All these balls are real, though. Most of them are. Just make sure that you're paying attention. Just go out and get one that, you're like throwing a dart. Hopefully it sticks. No Hit Kings is the name of the ball. It's like those old 500 home run balls. I mean, look here again. Bob Feller, good. Koufax, great. Ryan, great. Not a great ball, though, but, I mean, it works. It's an authentic ball. If that's what you're looking for, that's what you're looking for. But this one actually here has been on my – this looks pretty. We'll take a look at that one. Nolan Ryan looks good. Oh, it looks kind of sloppy, though. Koufax looks good. Feller looks great. That ball is in ice white condition. See, I see them sometimes with this COA as well, and I don't really like him, this guy, but sometimes he's got good stuff. Don't ever buy the certificate. Always buy the autographs. I don't even think I need to say that, but always buy the ball. Always buy the autograph. Oh, look, there's one with Bob Feller on the sweet spot. Huh. PSA. I can't say I've seen one. It might be the first one I've ever seen that was like that. 520 with coupon code. Hot damn, $130 off that sucker. So yeah, I don't know. That's what I really wanted to talk about. I'm just kind of blown away by the fact that people are out there spending good money on fake Koufaxes. I mean, it's not rocket science. I'm not even really spending a whole lot of time on this topic because it's just like not mind-blowing to me that it's not like we're talking about a $10,000 autograph. We're talking about a $500 autograph that people would be wanting to save, like I did, unexperienced at the time, inexperienced, getting reacquainted with the hobby, just trying to find, any names that I thought sounded bigger, like Mantle, DiMaggio, and just kind of sitting there and saying, oh, I'm going to make sure I get myself a good Koufax. So don't make the same mistake I did. Go out and spend $300. Or get lucky like I did and talk a guy down from $350 down to $150 and get yourself a good Koufax before he dies. Because, again, it's just going to be like Rose and Willie Mays this year, like how we learned. You're going to pay more as soon as the guy dies, and then things will really start to mellow out, and then you'll get to your real price. So I hope Sandy Koufax lives 1,000 years. But, again, he retired real young. He didn't have a whole lot of confidence in his health at his age, and I think he's going to be one of those guys that will live for 1,000 years because they didn't believe in their body. But, yeah, get a Koufax. It's good for the heart. It's good for the heart. It's good for the soul. and is a good man. He's got a beautiful signature too. It's definitely a fantastic addition to your collection, and I recommend that you do it. So anyway, that's probably going to be it from me today. I really just wanted to make this video and just say thank you. I'm so honored that there are people out there that really want to listen to me talk about baseball autographs. I mean, I'm not in the craziest of world here, with things, but I am so appreciative that there are people out there who really do want to be a part of something like this with me. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys coming out here. If you're new to the channel and you sat here through 35 and a half minutes, give yourself a round of applause. And I really I love you. I really do. I appreciate you clicking on my video and, enjoying your evening with me or whatever time you get to watch this, and subscribe. I'm only going to continue. I'm sorry it's been about 60 days since my last video, but if the statistics keep showing me that people are watching and I've got new subscribers and people really want new content, sure, whatever, I'll do it. I'll bring you guys whatever you want. I'm here to serve you. And in the meantime, follow me on Twitter, X. Again, if you don't know who I necessarily am, look into who I am. Go on my X. You'll find out pretty quickly. I love baseball. I love the history of baseball. I love the autographs of baseball players. And to be able to get all of the baseballs together, or all the signed, or all the autographs of all the players of the Hall of Fame, and open the gallery here in Delaware, Ohio, dedicated to Branch Rickey. That is my absolute dream, is to do that and to bring people joy and to re-educate and to further educate people on the importance of these ball players. And frankly, some of them are heroes. They went to war and they served this country. I mean, they're great men. A lot of these people are very great men. So if you would like to follow me on that journey, go ahead, hit like, subscribe, come on back some other time, and yeah, we'll just see you in the next one. Thank you so much. We'll see you. If I, for some reason, don't make a video, I probably won't make a video between here and Thanksgiving. So have a fantastic, happy Thanksgiving of 2024, and we'll just see you in the next one. I appreciate you guys, and comment what you want next. I'm always taking suggestions. And until then, see ya. Be safe. Have fun. And good luck in your collecting life. Thank you. Bye-bye.